for US allies, it's a very interesting situation playing out because we have, on the one hand, the very close relationship between the US and Israel, where Israel is, of course, directly involved in also carrying out strikes in Iran and seemingly very closely involved in how the war is unfolding. And we also have other US allies, such as Saudi Arabia or other states that host US military bases that are essentially becoming targets for Iran because they host US military assets. And so far, these states have been relatively restrained. And there is now a question to what extent they are able to actually exert influence over the US to reduce the damage that they are suffering in this war. So for US allies in Europe and in Asia, where there might also be concerns about how the US might show up to support them in a future conflict situation, they're going to be watching this really closely. At home in the US, we're seeing tensions play out between those close to the White House that think that Israel is an ideal ally for the United States because the state takes such good care of its own security and has been so heavily involved in planning this war and supporting the US, versus those that worry that Israel is actually driving escalation in a way that risks running away from the United States and that the US can't fully control. So this is also going to be incredibly interesting for European and Pacific allies who are undoubtedly watching these developments to see what kind of expectations the US might have for them when it comes to their regional security and what the US expects from its allies elsewhere in the world.